Hey guys, it's Stephen and Phil back on FOOTY.COM with yet another kit release, and it's one we've been waiting for some time now. Spurs have finally dropped their 2019-20 home kit and away kit, but we'll get onto that in another video later down the line from Nike. And we're going to decide today whether it was actually worth the wait or not. It's simple, but is it simple and good at the same time? So we're going to discuss that today. Also, I want to say thank you, by the way, to New Balance. Sent us the Porto third shirt.
It's very nice, that.
Nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
We haven't had time to do a video for this yet, but they sent it on, so I thought I'd pop it in. Literally got it about an hour ago. What do you reckon, Phil?
I think, you know what, it's best Porto kit of the season, that's
Yeah,
it.
definitely.
I think we should probably review it down the line.
We will do.
We'll
Thank you very much, New Balance, for sending us this very nice shirt. But don't forget, if you are a football fan as well, and a football kit fan, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Subscribe button. There we go. I've said it so many times recently that my tongue just gave up, basically. But we've got loads of videos about loads of different kits and all that kind of stuff. But we're going to dive in now to this one. I know you've been waiting for this one, Phil. Was it worth the wait?
I think you mentioned something in the intro about, is it a good simple or, good kind of simple? I think it probably is, but I have to say, from a personal perspective, it's not my kind of shirt. It is probably a bit safe.
People don't like it online, but then again, all that matters is what the Spurs fans agree with. Do they like it?
I think, you know what, I was quite interested to see the reaction because from the little bits that I saw, it wasn't universally hated. I think a lot of fans actually commented on the fact that certainly after last year, it is probably better, I think, because last year's kit with the gradient, it was interesting.
Yeah.
It's a bit clunky.
I thought last year was clunky as well.
Yeah.
It wasn't terrible, just a bit.
It just didn't. I don't think the execution of the design was very good. So I think this is actually a better shirt. The one thing I would say, and this is again a personal preference thing, but it just does feel a little bit too similar to 2 years ago. But there are differences, and actually the differences are a step up, which
they're substantial as well, aren't they? It's like, am I right in saying that in terms of like the cuff thing? That's something we just never see with Spurs.
I've not
really thought about it until you mentioned it.
So that's the thing. We do see it with Spurs, but not with Nike for the couple of years they've been with. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Probably the biggest improvement, I think, and someone pointed this out on Twitter to me, is that you've actually got contrasting cuffs. It seems like a simple thing. You kind of look at it and think, haven't they always had that? But actually, looking back to 2 years ago, so 2017-18. The home shirt, which was quite plain, it didn't have the cuffs. And actually, when you compare the two, this looks a lot better. So that's an immediate step
This
forward.
is one of those things where we had the shirt in person. Apparently, the word Spurs is embodied into the actual the material, that kind of stuff. I think on the top picture... Oh, this one there. Yeah, you can see it. So, I'm not sure if you're about to see it now on the video, but I think you can see the word Spurs somewhere. I don't know where it is.
It's very subtle, yeah.
It's in there somewhere, allegedly.
Yeah, so it's across the cuffs and on the little neckline bit.
Oh, okay.
I like it. It is very subtle. And
you can see it.
For me, it's probably more subtle than to my taste. I think it's kind of it's a bit of a token nod. Here's a bit of detailing, but to be honest, it is a nice bit of detail. And I think just when you look at the kit, the other things which feel a little bit samey, and this is what's kind of holding it back for being a great kit in my eyes. Things like the sponsor, we've had that for quite a few years, and the colour of it being red isn't like offensive. It's not like a kind of United.
It's kind of lucky that there's only two colours prior.
Exactly.
The kit, so the third colour doesn't jump out too much.
It doesn't jump out, so it's not necessarily an issue. But I kind of feel like just to keep it fresh, having it the same colour might have been nice.
Yeah, I actually don't think it would have made too much of a difference if it was in the same colour. I don't think there's that much going on with the shirt that would change.
And it's certainly not offensive.
Okay. I think you'd be like, well, that's made 0.01% of a difference.
It's a very small change, isn't it? I mean, it's not.
The thing is for me is that this kit reminds me, I'm not sure how right I am in this, it reminds me of the Inter Milan away kit, which was universally liked in terms of
very similar it's the same construction.
But I think the difference with that is it had the lines in the colour. Is that right with that?
Yeah, you're exactly right. And that was one or two teams have had that approach, as you say, with the three stripes.
Yeah, so it's actually the same construction, really.
It's exactly the same template.
It's just, I guess, it shows you how a tiny little bit of detail in that third colour in the sleeves, the little kind of the kind of pattern, the line kind of thing, and maybe a slightly nicer colour scheme can make a shirt just seem so much more memorable.
Indeed, and that's the thing.
It's not the fault of Spurs, I guess, in general. But
in many ways, you're exactly right. And Spurs kits, obviously the colour scheme, as you say, isn't going to jump out in itself. And I think that's why, if I was trying to improve the shirt, I really enjoy designs that...
Imagine a white trim and sleeves. I think that might look quite cool.
I
think that would really look quite nice.
Something a bit more dynamic, and that's not to say that I think for what this shirt is, it does it very well. It is very clean, very crisp. We have to credit, I think sometimes clean shirts and simple designs do kind of get immediately bad reps, and I'm guilty of that often, but actually it does tick.
As a City fan, like we never had anything like this as a City fan, Manchester City fan. Like our kits were always really weird pattern shoulders and stuff like that. If this was if Nike was still with City and this was blue and then those bits were white, I would probably love it. Like that's the thing. I'm going to be honest, because maybe because City have been starved of a simple kit for a long time, but like I think Spurs fans will largely think this is pretty nice. It's pretty smart, it's not memorable. But I think this is the kind of kit where it's primed to be memorable if they do something memorable in it. More than most, I would say.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Because it's classy. People will go, oh, do you remember that 2019 kit? That was an iconic era, wasn't it? The kit was sleek. We won the Spurs probably didn't win anything. But if they did win something... sorry, Spurs fans. But if they did, that's the point I'm making. People will remember this kit really... Like, I think some kits... Obviously, any kit is more memorable when you win something. But I think some kits are more primed for that. And I think this one is. Because of the simple nature of it, I think people would reference it a lot more 30 years down the line if it was a successful Spurs team. So
yeah, and I mean, obviously the City connection I think is a really good one because it is a sort of comparative situation, although probably better for Spurs, as you say. There's a bit more, certainly this design works better, it's got a little bit less going on, which was a bit unnecessary in the City kits. But I think you're exactly right that it's, for whatever reason, even though I don't think Nike's kits with City were very good, actually when I think about the run that you're on, if you like, over the past few years, I will associate with those kits. Yeah, they are simple kits, but there's a lot to be said about that. You're absolutely right. We're judging the kits from an aesthetic point of view. At the end of the day, as long as they're not doing like a Southampton or a Juve, I think actually kits usually aren't necessarily in themselves going to be a sore point.
This is the bit where we give it a score, basically. Next to me on screen now, this very cramped list of shirts. We kept the Huddersfield one off it because it wasn't actually real. They mugged us off for that big time. Fair play to Paddy Power. Though I don't really believe the intentions were honest. I think it's all about Vinny, but at least said about that, I reckon. But anyway, this is the list. Their kind of crosstown rivals, Arsenal, are just absolutely battering most people there. 92. We gave the 85 to the away kit, I think.
We did.
In general, they've done really well there. And then West Ham, obviously, highly represented with an 86 and a 94. Yep. I don't think Spurs are going to trouble in the 1-2 rankings of those two teams, but I think I know where you're going with this one, but I'm going to let you go for it.
Yeah, I'm quite unsure because I think there are a couple of examples which jump out. I always try to sort of rank it against another shirt. So if I'm looking at other shirts in England, for example, this immediately looks like it's in, I would say, probably above Newcastle territory. I actually think, despite the simplicity of it...
I think it's about 78 or something like that.
Well, yeah, at 78... No, that's good. It was between that or 79, but there's quite a few in 79.
I'm not just saying this as a City fan, but I think City's is a little bit more interesting.
As a result, I would agree. No, I think 78, which is a very good score, and I think a lot of people might be surprised, and certainly typically I'm all for bold kits, but actually of this genre, if you like, of the simple kit, this is actually really
is
strong.
Just Inter Milan's kit with a little bit less nicer colour scheme, so and Inter Milan's runs it quite highly. I don't think tempo is actually bad. I think it's just it feels simple because
because of the source material.
Source material. So I don't think it's a bad kit either. I think it's quite nice. Kit. It's not a bad kit. It's not annoyingly plain, I don't think. I don't know why. I don't know what makes it annoyingly plain.
Well, I think it's the small details on the calves. Yeah. And the fact that last year we had a bit more of an out there kit. So actually, typically we talk a lot on this channel about how after a crazy kit, you usually follow up with a slightly cleaner kit. Yeah. That's just the way that the industry is. So I think it makes sense.
78 then, yeah?
78.
Decent score. I don't think it's an unfair score as well. I think it's actually probably... I think time will do it a good trick. I think when they're on the pitch wearing it, everyone will go, it's all right, actually.
They will, yeah.
Anyway, guys, that's just our opinion on the Spurs home kit. We'll try and do the away kit at some point next week. We're going to follow up that today. Tomorrow there'll be the Chelsea away kit with the polo which just dropped, which we're going to have very contrasting views on, I've got a feeling. And also go check out the rest of the kits we've done this week. I can't even remember who we've done now. There'll be... This is just loads. Trust me on that one. Subscribe if you're new to this channel, and we'll see you very, very soon.